Hi everyone, I have a new interactive activity. It's called Crazy Cupcakes. Everything has been illustrated and created by GoGo Speech. This is a simpler activity, so it's really great for the little ones on your caseload. It may also be really good for your older kids to spark some really good conversation because there's going to be some funny surprises that happen. So in this activity, we're going to be baking cupcakes and we are going to go through and add all the ingredients. Then we're going to put them in the oven and we're going to take them out and there's going to be a big surprise there. We're also going to have some special guests at the end. I'm going to quickly go through and show you how it goes. So we're going to start out at the counter here. We are going to have our mixing bowl and we're going to have all of our ingredients over here. And we're going to start with the ingredients closest to you and move on to the ones that are further down. So the butter, then the eggs, then the sugar, flour, and baking powder. Grab the butter, put in, grab an egg, crack. So like all of our other activities, this is a one resource activity. So you are going to be able to adapt it based on the child that you're working with. So you're going to use certain language to address their speech sounds or address their language goals. So you might have repetitive phrases that you say throughout the activity. You might even have core words that you add to your own PowerPoint for your own use. So there's lots of ways to change the presentation of the activity for the specific kid that you're working with. Grab the other egg, crack the egg, grab the sugar, pour in, put in, dump in, grab the flour, tip it over, grab the baking powder, tip it over. Was that there before? Check it out. What is that? So just like everything else, you are going to use certain words that best address the goals of the child you're working with. So you might call this magic potion, secret sauce, or magic ingredient. All right, I guess we'll add it to the batter and see what it does. Maybe we'll make it really yummy. Take off the cork, pull up, pour in. Look at that potion, or look at that magic ingredient. Oh, we still have some left. Now we have an arrow pointing to the hand mixer. So you can call it a hand mixer or a blender, depending on the sounds you need. So you're going to grab that mixer and then you're going to go back and forth between the next two slides to make that mixer move and mix up that batter. All right, the batter is all mixed up. Now we have to put it in the tray or the cupcake tin. So we have to pick up the mixing bowl and pour it in. Pick up, pour it in. They're all filled up. Now we have to put it in the oven. Let's go. So this is going to be very similar to the scene in the gingerbread on the go-go activity. So we're gonna open the oven door and we're gonna grab the tray, put it in the oven. Then we're going to close the door. And then there's going to be an arrow pointing to the timer. So this tells us we need to start the timer so that we don't let the cupcakes burn. Press the button. So then it's going to be red, telling us that it's not ready yet. So then you can tell your kids, okay, let me know if it turns green. And you might be working on some speech or language tasks while you're waiting for it to cook. But you really want to make sure that the child is watching to make sure that they tell us exactly when it turns green so that those cupcakes don't burn. They're ready. Open the door. Wait a second. Something is definitely strange about those cupcakes. Should we take a closer look? Let's check it out and see what's going on. And then you can use a real oven mitt if you want to pull it out of the oven. Grab the tray. This is pretty weird. So you can have your kids talk about what every cupcake has in it. And then we're gonna say, all right, let's go back to the counter and see if there's anything we can do to try to make these go back to normal. I know we have a little bit of that magic potion left or the secret sauce. Maybe we'll be able to use that to get it back to normal. So we have some red frosting and then we have some of that secret sauce left. Grab that sauce and maybe if we dump it into that frosting and when we spread the frosting on those cupcakes, it's going to turn them back to normal. It's worth a try. Dump the potion. It's making that frosting really magical. I really hope this works. So you can have a spoon ready because we're going to dip the spoon in the frosting and you're going to prompt your child to tell you what to do. Dip it in the frosting. frosting. Spread it on the cupcake. So you're going to start with the cupcake that's closest to you and go from there, just like how we started with the ingredients that were closest to us to add to the batter. Spread it on. Oh no, that did not help that cupcake. There's just 4 carrots in it now. All right, let's see what happens with the next one. So you're going to do the same thing. More frosting. Spread it on. Uh-oh. More acorns. Frosting. Spread it on. More fish. So you can ask your kids if they would still eat it if they had these things in those cupcakes. Put in. Spread it on. Oh, that one has bones in it. Dip it in. Put in. Spread it on. A whole piece of pizza. Spread it on. Oh, that one actually looks kind of yummy. So it's really weird what this magic sauce did to our cupcakes, isn't it? I'm not sure if I really want to eat any, but which ones would you eat if you could eat them? Or if you had to pick one, which one would you pick? Well, they're still kind of warm, so we're going to just put them on the window to cool off. So you're going to have your kids tell you to push the window open, push the window on the shelf, or go on the windowsill. So they're cooling off there. So now you can talk about your week or do some speech and language tasks, whatever you want to do here. And then you're going to flip to the next slide without saying anything. So it's kind of a surprise for your kids. You want your kids to use language to tell you that something happened. So as you can see, a cupcake disappeared from the windowsill. Hopefully your child notices and tells you. If they don't, try to draw their attention to it a little bit. And then you're going to try to figure out which cupcake went missing. Do you remember which cupcake was there? The one with acorns is missing. Who do you think would take a cupcake with acorns in it? So the characters who take these cupcakes are going to be characters that you've already seen in Go-Go speech activities. If you didn't do these activities yet with your kids, that's okay too. You can still use lots of predicting skills to try to determine who might have taken these cupcakes. Maybe it was the chipmunk. Then that character is actually going to pop up and have the cupcake on their head. It was the chipmunk. You were right. I can't believe he came and took one of our cupcakes. Another cupcake is gone. So you're going to go through and do the same thing with all of these cupcakes. First, you're going to try to figure out which cupcake was just taken from the window. And then you're going to try to figure out who might have taken it. I think it was the cupcake with bones in it. Who likes to eat bones? It is the dog. Boy, this is so strange. With pizza, who really, really likes pizza? I mean, I know I like pizza, but do we know someone who really likes pizza? So if you haven't done the gingerbread on the go-go activities, you might not be able to guess this one, but you're going to see the gingerbread man pop up because he really loves pizza and he likes to use pizza to get out of things. It's the gingerbread man who stole the pizza cupcake. I guess it's okay that they're all taking these cupcakes because I'm probably not going to eat those. Another one's missing, carrot cupcake. Who loves to eat carrots? The rabbit. The cupcake with fish. Can you think of any animals that like to eat fish? What do you see? That's pretty weird. Half of it's over there and half of it's here. Polar bear and the penguin. They're sharing the cupcake. They both really like fish. There's one cupcake left. That's the one that I think looks really yummy. And that's probably the one that you like too. Baby polar bears giving us the cupcake to eat. Reach in and grab the cupcake. You can have the child take a bite out of the cupcake. You can also pretend to eat the cupcake too while they do it. Each time we bite the cupcake, this little baby polar bear is gonna move around the window. Look, it's all our friends. They came to join us, and I bet that they're saying thank you for those yummy cupcakes because we gave them all the things that they really love. So, like I said, it's a simple activity, but it should be nice and fun for your kids. I hope you all have fun. Bye, everyone.